It's time for high school baseball on KDAO. Tonight's game is brought to you by Central State Bank, Minerva Valley Companies, Marshalltown Community College. Now, high school baseball on KDAO.
Welcome in, everybody, here to Radio On The Go Sports YouTube and KDAO.com as we are streaming live for West Marshall baseball tonight. It is senior night tonight as well, so you'll see some seniors come across your camera screen here in just a moment for West Marshall baseball as we are set for the Trojans to host the Hawks of South Hamilton here at Schilling Field. Just a little bit left of West Marshall High School as you'll see some seniors in the distance on your camera here tonight as they are honoring the seniors. Some of the seniors in the starting lineup tonight for West Marshall, just real quick before we get to the overall starters tonight of Evan Siegert. You'll see as a senior Hunter Pauley, and I believe those are actually the lone two seniors in the starting lineup for West Marshall for this evening. As we may have a couple of others, and I can maybe get that for you here real quick before we get things started underway, as I do believe actually that might be the only two seniors for West Marshall baseball, part of the roster. I believe it's just going to be Evan Siegert and Hunter Pauley, a part of the senior lineups, and will be the lone two seniors in the starting lineup tonight for West Marshall. So just the two seniors for the Trojans, as we had an honorary first pitch as well out here in Schilling Field in honor of senior night. I believe senior parents, it's usually a tradition, senior parents will typically throw out a first pitch to obviously their senior sons, as the parents will accommodate here for West Marshall baseball. But West Marshall obviously hosting here tonight, has a great record so far this evening. At this point in the season, 13-10 overall, 7-7 in the Heart of Iowa Conference. South Hamilton also a Heart of Iowa Conference team, as this will be a conference matchup. 0-14 on the year, still looking for their first win overall for the South Hamilton Hawks. So West Marshall coming in confident tonight in their senior on their senior day as they look to get to an improvement of 14-10 as the season is starting to wind down just a bit, just a couple of weeks or so left in the regular season. Need all the conference wins you can get, as West Marshall sitting at 7-7 in their conference record, so looking to get above 500 in the Heart of Iowa Conference. Now for some of the starting lineups tonight for South Hamilton, batting first will be number 3 pitching tonight, Jackson Olmstead. Batting second will be number 16 catcher Holden Moore. Batting third will be third baseman number 10 Brody Harris. Batting fourth will be shortstop number 14 Garrett Johnson. Batting fifth will be the designated hitter number 5 Liam Ely. He will be hitting for Parker Stuck over in right field. He'll be wearing number 18. Batting sixth will be center fielder number 2 Cash Northrop. And batting seventh will be first baseman number 9 Oliver Hetland. Batting eighth will be second baseman number 17 Sam Koenig. And batting ninth will be left fielder number 4 Wyatt Gilder. For West Marshall, their starting lineups tonight will be number 8 in right field. Batting first is Drake Whitaker. Batting second will be shortstop number 7 Evan Siegert, one of the lone two seniors in the starting lineup tonight. Pitching tonight will be number 23 Beckham DeSoto. Batting fourth will be catching tonight number 13 Riley Hanford. Batting fifth will be left fielder number 9 Hunter Pauley. Batting sixth will be third baseman number 17 Carver Christensen. Batting seventh will be first baseman number 6 Blake Hart. Batting eighth will be designated hitting tonight number 22 Braxton Toney. And batting at ninth will be center field number 2 Turner DeRosette. We'll take a short break for the national anthem. We'll come back for the top of the first inning. West Marshall and South Hamilton after this here on KDAO.com and Radio On The Go Sports.
My family grew up with Central State Bank. From my first savings account to our first mortgage, growing a business, and planning for retirement. They've been with us through it all. And just like family, they call you by name. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you.
In Searing, McCallsburg, St. Anthony, Clemens, and the surrounding rural areas, Minerva Valley Companies is your local provider for internet service, local and long-distance telephone, and digital video, all available from one local provider. At Minerva Valley, they offer fiber to the home, high-speed internet, telephone service, and digital video TV. You pick the programming package, and Minerva Valley will give you great service. See why Minerva Valley should be your source for entertainment and internet. Log on to minervavalley.com. Minerva Valley Companies, providing voice, video, and data.
You've got goals. You need a plan. Don't waste time or money. At Marshalltown Community College, you get the power to choose. Transfer to a 4-year university or step straight into a career in healthcare or trades. Small classes, caring faculty, real-world experience. Marshalltown Community College. Your future starts now.
Welcome back tonight here to Schilling Field for West Marshall baseball, of course, taking on and hosting South Hamilton this evening, as I mentioned before in the pregame. 13-10 overall for West Marshall. 7-7 is their conference record, which is ultimately the important record looking at kind of the standings in the Heart of Iowa Conference. West Marshall at 7-7, looking to get above 500, which would be definitely a lot nicer for them going forward. Of course, they're kind of neck and neck in the Heart of Iowa Conference with Nevada sitting at 6-5. PCM also right there at 8-5. So a couple more losses for West Marshall, but could jump Nevada in terms of wins. They already technically are and could tie PCM in terms of wins, but those losses are kind of hurting them a little bit right now. But some wins under their belt and staying undefeated in the Heart of Iowa Conference going forward would obviously greatly benefit West Marshall going into the postseason, as the schedule is winding down a little bit. If you're looking at West Marshall baseball, some of the remaining games, not too many. They do have quite a bit of tournaments coming up relatively soon, so there will be quite a few games still in their arsenal, but the time frame is very short. Pretty much a week if you look at it time frame wise. Their last regular season matchup will be on July 1st, which is just next week, of course, against Pella Christian. But their next matchups include the likes of Ankeny Christian. They'll have Carlisle. They'll be a part of a tournament over in Ankeny. They'll also be a part of I believe the same tournament over in Sadell as well. So there'll be quite a few games over this upcoming weekend. Then they'll have a matchup against Coon Rapids, Bayard, AP, and then Pella Christian will finish off their regular season. So not too many games left on the schedule. Looking to get a big conference win here tonight for West Marshall. Pitching tonight for West Marshall will be Beckham DeSoto. One of the star players for West Marshall is one of their big leaders as a junior. He'll be third in the batting order tonight, but he will be starting off pitching tonight as one of the 2 lone seniors in the starting lineup, alongside Evan Siegert. They'll be batting second and third in that starting lineup, so keep that in mind here on Senior Day for West Marshall. Nice fastball pitch there. That one's down the middle as Jackson Olmstead plays off. He will be the starting pitcher tonight as well for South Hamilton. 1-1 count, heavy swing that time. Can't make contact for strike 2. One and 2 count, just leading off here tonight. Soto, another fastball, gets Olmstead swinging and cannot make contact for the second time and striking out Jackson Olmstead. A good start for Beckham DeSoto. So leadoff strikeout for Jackson Olmstead brings up Holden Moore, the catcher tonight. Moore, a left-handed hitter as well for South Hamilton. Takes the first pitch, does find the zone for strike 1. Holden Moore, just a sophomore for South Hamilton, will be the catcher tonight. Oh, 1 count. This one off and foul ball back behind home plate. Holden Moore, one of their better players in the box with a .280 average so far on the season. I believe actually is ranked as the highest in the batting order for South Hamilton. Heavy swing that time, can't make contact. That will go for strike 3 after taking the first pitch, foul ball, and a swing and a miss. Goes for the 2 up and 2 down, both 2 strikeouts for Beckham DeSoto, and a good start for the senior starting pitcher tonight for the West Marshall Trojans. Brody Harris, the third baseman, up to bat next. DeSoto delivers. This one's going to be popped up into the infield. DeSoto will get under it. He'll make the grab for the third out. Quick 3 up and 3 down as an infield flyout and 2 strikeouts. And a good start for West Marshall defensively, as this inning will go for no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on for South Hamilton. That will quickly go into the bottom of the first for West Marshall. It'll be Drake Whitaker Leading things off for West Marshall, it'll bring up Evan Seeger and Beckham DeSoto. They'll have their guaranteed at-bats as we go 1, 2, 3 in the batting order. Remember, it is senior night tonight. Evan Seeger and, as I misspoke earlier, sorry, Beckham DeSoto is a junior, as Hunter Pauley is the other senior for West Marshall. As Evan Seeger, Hunter Pauley will be 2nd and 5th in the batting order tonight. Those are the lone 2 seniors here on senior night for West Marshall. Not a very heavy senior class, obviously, but quite a few juniors and sophomores do lead the way here for West Marshall. Drake Whitaker, one of their star sophomores, leading off tonight. You also have the heavy junior class with West Marshall. Beckham DeSoto kind of leading that front, along with Carver Christensen, Blake Hart, Braxton Toney, some of the juniors that are on this squad. It was a heavy senior class last year as well for West Marshall. West Marshall's had quite a bit of success regular season-wise. They've made some good runs in the past. In the postseason, have always had very strong teams. Maybe a little bit underwhelming for what they maybe thought this year at 13-10, but still very much in the mix. Going into the postseason, a win here would definitely help their case. Right in the middle of the pack of the Heart of Iowa Conference standings. Getting above 500 would be nice for the Trojans moving forward, and a very winnable game they see tonight, especially here at senior nights at home. South Hamilton still looking for their first win on the regular season. As West Marshall expected to come in very confident tonight, they'll look to get things started early for this evening as the season is winding down, as I mentioned before. Just about a week and roughly 2 days left in the regular season before we get postseason brackets out and get things started for baseball and softball as we approach the postseason. Pitching tonight is Jackson Olmstead for South Hamilton. As I failed to mention earlier, the head coaches tonight for West Marshall is Jared Brown, and the head coach for South Hamilton, Cole Swanson. So Drake Whitaker, right fielder, number 8, is a sophomore, as I mentioned before, .211 batting average for Drake on the season. First pitch is going to be way high and outside. A good cover from the catcher of South Hamilton. Holden Moore is back behind the plate tonight. Second pitch just a tad outside and high for ball 2. .211 batting average, like I mentioned. .389 on base percentage for Drake as he finds himself on base quite often as the leadoff hitter for West Marshall. So a quick 3-0 count. Tries to find the zone that time, and Drake will just hold back his bat and take his base over to first. So a leadoff walk. We'll have a train in the background, as more times than not we'll at least have one here in West Marshall. It's kind of a tradition of sorts. Train tracks are directly behind that back fence here at Schilling Field. Remember, we're just, if you're not aware of where Schilling Field is, just a little bit west, basically just down the block from West Marshall High School. The softball field is directly on campus of West Marshall High School. Schilling Field just a little bit down the road. As this brings up Evan Seegert, one of the lone seniors here on senior night. He is over at shortstop tonight. Evan Seegert's been a pretty focal part of West Marshall baseball, and pretty much ever since, I believe, his sophomore year has been a heavy part of the starting lineup. As the steal attempt will go from first to second, and he'll slide in as Drake's successful stealing from first to second. So that'll put the runner on second base. 1-1 count. Seegert initially on that first pitch did show bunt, but pulled it back. Was actually called strike, though, for a 1-1 count. This one a little bit off to the right side for ball 2. Takes his time. Olmstead now delivers just a bit high, but no, umpire will call for strike 2. Just found that top right corner. So a 2-2 count as Seegert laid off that pitch that time. 2-2 count, swung high, and Olmstead pulls off the strikeout, an important strikeout as well for South Hamilton, as Seegert will strike out on his first at-bat. This will bring up Beckham DeSoto, the starting pitcher tonight. First pitch will go just a tad high for ball one as DeSoto lays off. I've also been informed tonight that Beckham DeSoto's grandpa is watching live with us here at Radio On The Go Sports. Harley Whitkoff over in Algona. Hope he's doing well, as we appreciate you tuning into this matchup tonight to watch Beckham DeSoto play for West Marshall here in his junior year. Also remember Asher DeSoto, part of this West Marshall baseball team as well. Not in the starting lineup tonight, but just a freshman for West Marshall. Most likely we'll see him down the line. Beckham DeSoto will put this one into play. He'll get thrown out at first, but will get credited with the RBI, as that will bring up 2 outs, and the run will be counted as safe for West Marshall with a quick 1-0 lead. So an RBI for Beckham DeSoto. Nobody on base after the RBI and thrown out for Beckham DeSoto. This will bring up Riley Hanford, the catcher tonight. Hanford just a freshman for West Marshall. Wearing number 13, has a .338 batting average, .489 on-base percentage for Hanford. Solid contact here. This will go to deep left field, back near the fence, and the left fielder will be there. He'll track it down, and he'll make the grab, and a nice swing at the bat for Riley Hanford, as he will ultimately fly out, but into deep left field. And a solid chance there for West Marshall, but 1 run will score for the Trojans off of no hits. You had the initial leadoff walk, the strikeout, and the RBI for Beckham DeSoto as he was thrown out at first, as there was no errors and nobody left on for West Marshall. After 1, it is 1-0. West Marshall on top. Top of the second, we'll have Garrett Johnson, Liam Ely, and Cash Northrop. They'll have their guaranteed at-bats for South Hamilton. Quick break. We'll be back after this here on Radio On The Go Sports on YouTube.
My family grew up with Central State Bank. From my first savings account to our first mortgage, growing a business, and planning for retirement. They've been with us through it all. And just like family, they call you by name. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you.
In Zeering, McCallsburg, St. Anthony, Clemens, and the surrounding rural areas, Minerva Valley Companies is your local provider for internet service, local and long-distance telephone, and digital video. All available from one local provider. At Minerva Valley, they offer fiber to the home, high-speed internet, telephone service, and digital video TV. You pick the programming package, and Minerva Valley will give you great service. See why Minerva Valley should be your source for entertainment and internet. Log on to minervavalley.com. Minerva Valley Companies, providing voice, video, and data.
Welcome back tonight here to Schilling Field for West Marshall baseball. It's top of the second inning, 1-0 lead for West Marshall. RBI scored from Beckham DeSoto, who is the starting pitcher tonight, was able to send Drake Whitaker home for the first run of the evening. As Beckham DeSoto, back-to-back strikeouts for him at the mound so far. Also has an RBI to his name, so a good start for the junior leader of West Marshall. As I was informed before pregame tonight, again, a big shout-out to Harley Whitkoff, who's watching in Algona tonight, is the grandpa of Beckham and Ashton DeSoto, or Asher DeSoto, excuse me, as Asher and Beckham DeSoto's grandpa watching tonight in Algona. I know your family's thinking a lot about you tonight and was informed before pregame to give you a big shout-out, and a huge West Marshall fan, and happy to bring some coverage to you tonight as this one put into play, and a great slide into first. So you don't see a slide too much to first base, but makes the attempt, and that's going to be safe for Garrett Johnson, and that'll go down as a base hit. So a leadoff single for South Hamilton, and Garrett Johnson, nicely done. That was well covered defensively, I believe, by the first baseman for West Marshall, Blake Hart, as DeSoto trying to come over from the pitcher's mound to cover first, but just couldn't get there quite in time, as Hart had to kind of dive for it. Fell on the ground, couldn't quite get back up in time to throw it, but a solid base hit for Garrett Johnson. This will bring up Liam Ely. 1-0 count. Steal attempt from first to second will slide in. That looks to be in time, and it will be a nice thrown out on the steal attempt, as Johnson is going to be unsuccessful and will get thrown out. Stealing from first to second. Nice work there in the infield for West Marshall. It's Riley Hanford making that throw over to, I believe, the second baseman. That's actually, I'll get that name for you real quick. I believe that was who the designated hitter was covering for. This one put into play, and a little mistake there, and an infield error on a ground ball over to first base. We'll have Liam Ely safe. So Ely, the designated hitter, will reach over to first off of an error. Took an awkward bounce, so it's hard to blame him. It's hard to give him an error, obviously, but was definitely a very fieldable ball. Took an awkward bounce. Didn't necessarily see if it hit the first base bag or not, but either way, an infield error will have it reach on first. Here's a ground ball over to the second baseman, thrown over to first in time, and will be called out as Cash Northrop will ground out. And that pickoff from the steal attempt proving to be a little costly for South Hamilton. They would have stayed on base, would have had runners on second and third. Just the lone runner over on second now, though, for South Hamilton. This will bring up Oliver Hetland, the first baseman. DeSoto will deliver. Swing and a miss that time. Nice pitch there from DeSoto. Oh, 1 count, 2 outs. Soto delivers again. Nice fastball there for strike 2. As Hetland lays off. DeSoto, one of their stronger pitchers for West Marshall. Pretty tall kid. He delivers a very fast fastball. Definitely challenges the strike ball very often. And another fast and straight down the middle pitch that South Hamilton can't hit, as Oliver Hetland will strike out. As that will leave South Hamilton scoreless. Had the base hit, though, from Garrett Johnson leading off. Did get thrown out, stealing from first to second. Proved to be a little bit costly, as the reach on error would have put runners on first and second. And most likely could have been potentially a fielder's choice. Probably would have put somebody on third base into scoring position. Maybe could have changed a little bit, but either way, the strikeout leaves the runner stranded over on second base for no runs off of 1 hit, 1 infield error, and 1 left on. As the bottom of the second coming up, leading off will be Hunter Pauley, the one of the 2 seniors here on senior night for West Marshall. Hunter Pauley, Carver Christensen, and Blake Hart will have their guaranteed at-bats here in this second inning. Go 5, 6, and 7 in the batting order. Number Jackson Olmstead on the mound tonight. Lone run scored in by Beckham DeSoto on the RBI. Was able to send Drake Whitaker home from third base. Had a leadoff walk, struck out, and then I believe Whitaker was able to steal over to second. And I think still over from second. Oh, that's right. Wild pitch was actually able to put Whitaker from second over to third and put him into scoring position for Beckham DeSoto to send in that RBI from third base. So no base hits yet for West Marshall, but with the 1 run on the board. Hunter Pauley is over in left field tonight, like I mentioned, is one of the 2 seniors for West Marshall. Not a very heavy senior class for West Marshall. It's not just the 2 lone seniors in the starting lineup. It is the 2 lone seniors, a part of West Marshall baseball as a whole. A lot of freshmen, though, on this roster. There is just kind of eyeballing it, around probably 8 or so freshmen, maybe even a little bit more, part of this lineup. A couple of 8th graders as well, as the future definitely in good hands for West Marshall going forward. And that's going to be a hit by the pitch for Hunter Pauley. And he was showing bunt initially. Pitch came off a little awkwardly, though. I think hit him just below the knee, I believe, as Pauley will make his way over to first. So Pauley will walk over to first. This will bring up Carver Christensen, the third baseman. Left-handed hitter has a runner on first after the leadoff walk. Christensen takes that first pitch a little bit too high, makes it a 1-0 count. Carver has a .229 batting average so far on the year. It's a junior for West Marshall, .325 on-base percentage. Quite a few RBIs to his name, third leading on the team with 18 total. This one is going to get pushed over into center field, a solid hit, or left field, excuse me, as I misplaced that. That did actually get caught. A nice grab there from, I believe, the third baseman of South Hamilton. Reached over into shallow left field and makes the grab as Christensen will fly out. So runner has to tag up. Keeps the runner at first base. It'll bring up Blake Hart. Hart over at first base tonight. Another junior for West Marshall. Takes the first pitch. It's outside for ball 1. Blake Hart, .151 batting average for him so far in the year, but the on-base percentage is relatively high at .403. One-0 count. That one right down the middle as Hart lays off for strike 1. Hart's batting average maybe a little bit low at .151, but does have quite a few multiple base hits. As a steal attempt from first to second slides in, had a little bit trouble staying on the bag, but keeps his foot there. As successful steal for Hunter Pauley as he'll make his way over to second. But as I was saying before, 5 doubles for Blake Hart on the year for his 3 singles. Does have 7 RBIs as well to his name, so he's able to gain multiple bases in some of his base hits so far on the season. 3-1 count. Has a runner in scoring position at second. Takes that 5th pitch in the count and just a little bit tad high. Good eye there from Blake Hart as he'll walk over to first. Tough one to lay off too. Just a tad high, had the runner on second, just one out working with, but good eye from Hart as he'll walk over to first. This will bring up Braxton Toney, the designated hitter. Braxton, a .158 average so far on the season. Has 5 RBIs to his name. Started a multitude of games so far in the season. It's missed a few, relatively, but has started and played in most of the majority of the matchups this season. Steals are going to go from second and third, sliding into third. That's going to be close, and will get called safe as the ball did drop out of the glove for South Hamilton, as that puts runners at second and third now for West Marshall. Good communication there from the dugout and the head coach of Jared Brown, making sure both runners stealing at the same time. 2-0 count. Oh, that's going to go off the elbow of Braxton, and he'll make his way over to first. So Braxton Toney will make his way over to first after a hit by the pitch. It's the 3rd walk in this inning alone. 2 hit by the pitch and 1 on balls alone on a 4-1 count from Blake Hart. That'll bring up Turner DeRozet. The center fielder is a freshman for West Marshall. Just a quick kind of infield meeting here from South Hamilton. Obviously, bases loaded. Usually it's pretty often you'll see this for any team when the bases get loaded. It's nice to just have a discussion with the infield, make sure you're on the same page on if you're going to worry about potentially giving up a run. Say it's a ground ball, whether it's to the shortstop, second base specifically. Are you going to worry about throwing home or just look for the double play? Are you going to look for the initial throw over to first just to guarantee an out itself? It's a multitude of options that you can have, especially if it's a bunt attempt. It's always nice to know what the plan is necessarily. Are you going to kind of bring in some of the infield to keep some defense up for the run itself? There is a force out at every plate, so you can throw home. You don't have to tag him out. You can just touch the base. But with 1 out, sacrifice well in play for West Marshall. First pitch just a little bit outside, got away from him for ball 1. As I mentioned, this is Turner DeRozet out in center field tonight. 214 average for DeRozet. Second pitch is a little bit outside to the right. As DeRozet lays off. 12 total hits for DeRozet so far in the year. Does have a home run to his name. It's not an easy thing to score a home run at the high school level. If it was easy, you'd see home runs all over the place for every batter on the score sheet. Only 3 total guys have been able to score homers this season, including Beckham DeSoto, Carver Christensen, and Turner DeRozet up to bat right now. Took that pitch again. That one does find the zone for strike 1. Could be a favorable pitch coming in for DeRozet on a 3-1 count. Bases loaded with just 1 out. Delivers. This one's going to get popped up. This will be in the infield. Runners will have to tag up. Most likely are going to stay in place. It'll be caught, and runners will stay as an infield flyout. We'll have DeRozet out on his first at-bat. We'll go back to the top of the batting order with Drake Whitaker up to bat. Drake walked in his first at-bat. Has a lot of runners as the bases are loaded. 2 outs. Sacrifice no longer in play. Takes the first pitch. That's in the zone for strike 1. So Olmstead struggled a little bit tonight, but he's found his footing a few times. Does have 1 strikeout. Able to find the zone a little bit more consistently as this game has gone along. Olmstead, better pitch there, just a little bit outside and high, and a good eye there from Whitaker. One and 1 count. This one's going to get driven into center field. Center fielder chases it down, and he'll be under it. He'll make the grab. A nice attempt there from Drake Whitaker. Trying to drive it into center field, but is eventually caught. As no runs in this inning, and no hits as well, as it was all walks that put the runners on base. No infield errors as well, just a couple of hit by the pitches and 1 walk off of balls. Was able to load up the bases, but West Marshall can't capitalize, and it leaves all 3 runners stranded as the bases are loaded. Still 1-0 as we go to the top of the 3rd inning. South Hamilton will lead off with Sam Koenig. We'll have Wyatt Gelder and Jackson Olmstead with their guaranteed at-bats. We'll take a short break. Back after this. Top of the 3rd inning coming up here on Radio On The Go Sports and KDAO.com.
You've got goals. You need a plan. Don't waste time or money. At Marshalltown Community College, you get the power to choose. Transfer to a 4-year university or step straight into a career in healthcare or trades. Small classes, caring faculty, real-world experience. Marshalltown Community College. Your future starts now.
My family grew up with Central State Bank. From my first savings account to our first mortgage, growing a business, and planning for retirement. They've been with us through it all. And just like family, they call you by name. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you.
Welcome back, everybody, here to Radio On The Go Sports and KDAO.com. Top of the 3rd inning coming up. Just a 1-0 game so far for West Marshall. First run came in that first inning for the Trojans. Came off a walk, a successful steal, and a wild pitch, able to put Drake Whitaker over in scoring position on 3rd, and Beckham DeSoto able to drive it in on an RBI single. Other than that, though, it's just been all walks. Well, still actually all walks. No base hits tonight yet for West Marshall. Do have the 1 base hit, though, for South Hamilton. First pitch, this one's going to get driven over into right field, but off in foul ball for strike 1. Base hit was from Garrett Johnson, leading off the inning in the second. So they had a good initial start. Couldn't capitalize necessarily. Actually did have an error as well, but Johnson was caught stealing going from first to second as that halted their momentum a little bit. But we're able to put guys in scoring position in the second inning. So looking to build off a little bit of momentum is the Hawks. Still looking for their first win on the season at 0-14. Heavy swing that time. Nice pitch there from DeSoto. Can't make contact for strike 3 as Sam Koenig will strike out. That'll be the 4th total strikeout tonight for Beckham DeSoto. That'll bring up Wyatt Gelder, the left fielder tonight. Gelder, a left-handed hitter. DeSoto delivers. Went bottom shelf, swing and a miss for strike 1. DeSoto is a very consistent pitcher For Wes Marshall, there's not much creativity necessarily in his pitching style, but that is to kind of his liking. A lot of direct, heavy fastballs and challenges that strike zone very, very often and can make for some quick innings as that one goes and lays off for strike 2. Soto resets. Another right down the middle pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. As DeSoto hasn't changed the style much, but you don't fix what's not broken, as DeSoto is one of the heavier, faster pitchers that you'll see, especially for Wes Marshall, but he's getting the job done so far tonight. His 5th total strikeout on the evening. Back-to-back strikeouts brings up back to the top of the order of Jackson Olmstead. Quick swing that time, can't make contact for strike 1. But DeSoto's challenging South Hamilton pretty heavily here at the plate tonight. 0-1 count, DeSoto again. Nice fastball, swing and a miss for strike 2. Near that same spot every time. It's pretty close to that top shelf for DeSoto, but he likes it this time a little bit low and mixes it up for strike 3 and can't make contact. And that's about as quick as an inning you'll get off of 3 strikeouts. 3 up and 3 down, all strikeouts for Beckham DeSoto, all swinging. As no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on at the top of the 3rd for South Hamilton. Wes Marshall quickly up to bat again. Bottom 3rd will bring up Evan Siegert. Beckham DeSoto and O'Reilly Hanford will go 2, 3, 4 in the batting order, and they're guaranteed at bats. They're coming up after this quick 30-second break. We'll be back here at Radio On The Go Sports and KDAO.com.
My family grew up with Central State Bank. From my first savings account to our first mortgage, growing a business, and planning for retirement. They've been with us through it all. And just like family, they call you by name. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you.
In Zeering, McCallsburg, St. Anthony, Clemens, and the surrounding rural areas, Minerva Valley Companies is your local provider for internet service, local and long-distance telephone, and digital video, all available from one local provider. At Minerva Valley, they offer fiber to the home, high-speed internet, telephone service, and digital video TV. You pick the programming package, and Minerva Valley will give you great service. See why Minerva Valley should be your source for entertainment and internet. Log on to minervavalley.com. Minerva Valley Companies, providing voice, video, and data.
Welcome back, everybody, here to West Marshall Baseball. Bottom of the 3rd inning coming up. West Marshall will have some guaranteed at-bats with, they'll have Evan Siegert, Beckham DeSoto, and O'Reilly Hanford. They'll go 2, 3, 4 in their batting order. Evan Siegert, one of the 2 seniors in the starting lineup tonight. It is senior night tonight, if you are potentially just now joining us. For West Marshall Baseball, 1-0 game as West Marshall, their first run coming in the 1st inning after the initial walk from Drake Whitaker, a strikeout, and then a steal successful from Whitaker, and a wild pitch put him at 3rd base in scoring position, and the RBI successful from Beckham DeSoto. Given the 1-0 lead, still no base hits tonight for West Marshall. Siegert showed bunt, laid off as it's outside for ball 1. Second pitch, bottom shelf, but it finds the zone for strike 1, on a 1-1 count. Count 1-1. This one down the middle. Siegert's going to drive this into shallow left field. That'll be a base hit. A little bit of trouble with it from the left fielder. Siegert will round over from first, but stay put. And a leadoff single for Evan Siegert. Nicely hit into shallow field. So first base hit tonight for West Marshall. Evan Siegert leads it off here in the 3rd inning. Beckham DeSoto will have his second at-bat tonight. As I mentioned just a little bit before, the RBI single from Beckham DeSoto. Steal attempt's going to go from first to second. Catcher will throw in, not going to be in time. Steal is going to be successful into second. Pitch was in the zone for strike 1, so an 0-1 count. Runner now on second, no outs. This one's going to be driven and This is going to be popped up into the infield. Shortstop seems to be under it, and he'll have it for the first out. Beckham DeSoto, good attempt there, but pops it straight up into the infield. It'll bring up Riley Hanford. Hanford flew out in his first at-bat. Same scenario, just with the one out, runner on second. Olmstead on the mound, thinking about throwing back over to second. We'll let this one go. This one's going to get driven into center field. This will have a chance. Center fielder will be there, though, and he'll stand under it for the out. Great attempt, though, from Riley Hanford. Definitely got a lot of it, driving it all the way into center field. It's pretty much 325 feet the entirety of the way. It's actually 305 into left field and right field, but very deep into right field, pretty much actually in foul territory. Other than that, though, it's about 325 feet from the fence to get out for a home run. As this will bring up Hunter Pauley. Pitch is going to be outside to the left. Good cover from the catcher. Keeps the runner honest over at second base. Hunter Pauley walked on his first at-bat, was hit by the pitch, I believe on the first pitch, actually, just in the previous inning. Pauley lays off again. It's going to be too high for ball two. Pauley, one of the two seniors tonight. Again, remember, it's senior night tonight for West Marshall. Evan Siegert, the other senior among the roster and starting lineup. Pitch outside to the left, and again, Pauley lays off. So this will go for a 3-0 count. Very favorable count now for Pauley. .30 count. That one's going to be way outside, and a good take and at bat for Pauley, as he'll keep his arm strength at the bat, as he will walk over to first. Put runners at first and second with 2 outs. That'll bring up Carver Christensen, the third baseman. Christensen flew out in his first at-bat. I believe it was a good attempt, though, able to drive it into the outfield. So look to put this one in for a base hit if he can. Runners are going to steal, and catcher will lay off. Doesn't want to risk a potential error, throwing over to second or third, as that did go in the zone for strike one. Second pitch was a little bit low off the home plate for ball one. 1-1 count. Runners at second and third, but just the two outs now. Sacrifice no longer in play. Christensen lays off on that pitch. Makes it a 2-1 count. Christensen lays off again. Olmstead just trying to challenge that strike zone a little bit better. A walk here wouldn't be necessarily the worst thing in the world. Obviously, it would load the bases, would make it a force out, though, at every plate. Obviously, very risky, though, and Olmstead can't find the zone again as it's outside. Christensen will take his base as he lays off. So a leadoff single, infield fly out and a fly out, but back-to-back walks. Loads up the bases for West Marshall. This will bring up Blake Hart, the first baseman. He walked in his last at-bat, and now he's got bases loaded. Pitch is going to be a little bit low near the dirt. Good cover from the catcher, though. Wild pitch will potentially score a run, obviously. Fence is a good distance back from home plate. Sometimes you'll be at ballparks where the fences are a little bit closer than you might expect, so sometimes a wild pitch won't do as much damage as you might initially think and actually get some guys in trouble. I've seen it happen before in the regular season, but count is now 1-1. Found the zone that time as Hart laid off. Pitch is going to be too high and for ball two. Remember, it is the 2 outs now. Probably try to take this at bat as far as he can. A walk would score the run, obviously. This one's going to be too high again for ball 3. Big pitch coming up, 3-1 count. Bases are loaded with 2 outs, as could be an ideal pitch for Hart to drive, but laying off could score a run on the walk. Hart's going to take that pitch, and there you go. It's in the zone. That's kind of the mind game you have. 3-1 pitch with bases loaded. Most likely you're going to find one up the middle, but it just depends on whether you want to swing or not. So now a full count. Hart's going to lay off in a good eye, as it is going to be low for ball 4, and Blake Hart will take his base. That will score a run. As initially, I think we're going to have a, or no, sorry, we're actually 8th in the batting order. This is Braxton Toyne. I believe I said Tony before. I believe it's Toyne for Braxton. So apologies about that. He's the designated hitter tonight for West Marshall. We'll score in a run, though, off that walk from Blake Hart. A good at-bat, as that was the 3rd walk. Yeah, 3rd walk in a row for West Marshall. So same scenario, bases loaded with 2 outs. Blake takes that first pitch, or Braxton, excuse me. Braxton takes that first pitch for ball 1. One-0 count. That one's going to be up the middle for strike 1. Sometimes it can be a little bit hard for Olmsted once he does find that zone. Sometimes West Marshall is kind of used to taking those pitches, so sometimes it can be a little bit tricky on the mind games, as Olmsted is going to get hit by the pitch, and it just went off the elbow, I believe, of Braxton Toyne, as it will be a walk, so it is going to be hit by the pitch. So that will score another run. First pitch, this one's going to get driven into left field, and left fielder is going to be under it for the grab, as Turner DeRosa made a quick work of his at-bat, obviously taking a swing at the first pitch. Will be caught for the 3rd out. So 4 walks in a row after the leadoff walk from Evan Siegert. Scores 2 runs for West Marshall, making it 3-0, as just the lone single able to get things started for West Marshall. So 2 runs off of the lone hit tonight for West Marshall. No infield errors, I believe, and 3 left on as the bases were loaded. It's the 2nd inning in a row, actually. 3 are left on with bases loaded. But top of the 4th inning coming up, it'll be Holden Moore, Brody Harris, and Garrett Johnson. They'll have their guaranteed at-bats after this here on Radio On The Go Sports and KDAO.com.
You've got goals. You need a plan. Don't waste time or money. At Marshalltown Community College, you get the power to choose. Transfer to a 4-year university or step straight into a career in healthcare or trades. Small classes, caring faculty, real-world experience. Marshalltown Community College. Your future starts now.
My family grew up with Central State Bank. From my first savings account to our first mortgage, growing a business, and planning for retirement. They've been with us through it all. And just like family, they call you by name. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you.
We'll go back here to Schilling Field here for West Marshall baseball. Top of the 4th inning coming up, as South Hamilton looking to try and get on the board. They do have the 1 base hit in the 2nd inning from Garrett Johnson. Other than that, it's been a struggle tonight. Obviously, Beckham DeSoto, big part of that for West Marshall. He's been a strong pitcher for the Trojans, as he's up to, I believe, 6 total strikeouts on the evening. 3 up and 3 down, all on strikeouts last inning for West Marshall's Beckham DeSoto. He's been an important player for West Marshall, I believe, since his freshman year. He's a terrific pitcher for the Trojans. He's a very good base hitter as well, usually about 3rd or 4th in that batting order. He's kind of an RBI guy for West Marshall, and is definitely a big leader for this team tonight. So he's a junior here on senior night, but he's doing a great job at the mound. There's another strikeout on a 1-3 count. as Moore couldn't make contact on the swing. So that'll bring up Brody Harris. Harris, infield fly out in his last at-bat. Gets his second shot here tonight. Heavy swing that time, can't make contact for strike one. West Marshall, Beckham DeSoto made quick work in that last inning. As I mentioned before, 3 up and 3 down, all on strikeouts. There's a changeup, little curveball that time. It's going to make contact. Scooped up from the second baseman, thrown over to first in time for the out. So Harris will ground out over to the second baseman. This will bring up Garrett Johnson. He's the lone base hit tonight for South Hamilton. First pitch down the middle. Got caught looking for strike one. And as I said before, I was going to try to get a name for you. And it is Xavier Jewell over at second base, as the designated hitter tonight of Braxton Toyne hitting for Jewell. 0-2 count. Delivers. That's in the zone for strike three, and got caught looking is Garrett Johnson. That's the 8th strikeout tonight for Beckham DeSoto in 4 innings, as it goes for no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on at the top of the 4th inning. West Marshall back up to the plate, as they will have their guaranteed at-bats. Back to the top of the order, they'll have Drake Whitaker, Evan Siegert, and Beckham DeSoto in their guaranteed at-bats. Quick 30-second break. We'll be back after this here on Radio On The Go Sports and KDAO.com.
In Zeering, McCallsburg, St. Anthony, Clemens, and the surrounding rural areas, Minerva Valley Companies is your local provider for internet service, local and long-distance telephone, and digital video. All available from one local provider. At Minerva Valley, they offer fiber to the home, high-speed internet, telephone service, and digital video TV. You pick the programming package, and Minerva Valley will give you great service. See why Minerva Valley should be your source for entertainment and internet. Log on to minervavalley.com. Minerva Valley Companies, providing voice, video, and data.
With the punches, welcome back, everybody, here to Radio On The Go Sports and KDAO.com. As the second baseman tonight, actually I made a mistake. There's 2 Jewels on the squad. It is 8th grader Levi Jewell over at second base tonight, as a designated hitter for Braxton Toyne is in the order for Jewell. So the 8th grader over at second base tonight for West Marshall. But we'll go 1, 2, 3 in the batting order. Drake Whitaker will lead off. They'll have Evan Siegert and Beckham DeSoto with their guaranteed at-bats. Whitaker, his 3rd at-bat tonight, walked and flew out, so still looking for his first base hit tonight. Jackson Olmsted still at the mound tonight for the Hawks. Going to show bunt, trying to lay it down the third baseline. Didn't get all of it, though. It's a pitch a little bit high and goes off for foul ball for strike one. So seeing if they can get a leadoff bunt, as Whitaker's already shown his card. So sometimes you'll see the initial attempt for the leadoff bunt, but once you see that the first time, sometimes they'll lay off and just go for the swing. Drake doesn't show bunt that time, but lays off the pitch as it's way outside for ball 1. One and one count. It's going to be too high again for ball 2. Two and one count. Swing and a miss that time. Nice pitching from Jackson Olmsted. So it found that top shelf. It was a tough one to read potentially. Whitaker has pretty decent average at 211. Mostly just the singles from Whitaker and just the lone base hits. 14 total base hits and just the 1 double on the arsenal for Whitaker. Does have 17 RBIs to his name, though, as a leadoff hitter, and a pretty heavy on-base percentage at .479. Full count. He's going to drive this one into center field. It's going to be shallow center field as the shortstop's going to be able to make the trip over, and he'll make the grab for the first down. So Whitaker will fly out into shallow center field. This will bring up Evan Siegert, the shortstop. Does have a base hit tonight. Going to have a brief meeting here in the infield. Looks like we are going to be getting a pitching change as Jackson Olmsted able to take his glove and kind of making a switch. So we'll see who the pitching change will be to for South Hamilton. But it looks like Jackson Olmsted's night is done at the pitching mound. So we do have a new pitcher. We'll get the number for you here real quick, and we'll check in a little bit about his stats, see what he's working with. This is number 14 for South Hamilton. This is Garrett Johnson for the Hawks. So pitching change will be Garrett Johnson. He'll be getting warmed up. It'll take him about a minute or so, so we'll take a short break. We'll get Johnson warmed up, and we'll be back for the rest of the bottom of the fourth. Back after this here on Radio On The Go Sports and KDAO.com.
You've got goals. You need a plan. Don't waste time or money. At Marshalltown Community College, you get the power to choose. Transfer to a 4-year university or step straight into a career in healthcare or trades. Small classes, caring faculty, real-world experience. Marshalltown Community College. Your future starts now.
My family grew up with Central State Bank. From my first savings account to our first mortgage, growing a business, and planning for retirement. They've been with us through it all. And just like family, they call you by name. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you.
Welcome back here to State Center for West Marshall Baseball. We do have a pitching change as we took the short break to get Garrett Johnson warmed up at the mound. Garrett Johnson is, you could probably say, their most used pitcher. Pitch count is the most on the team at 438. Batting average against of 243. Does have an ERA of 9.8. So this is kind of the main pitcher of sorts for Garrett Johnson. Is used the most. He's just a sophomore for South Hamilton. He started in a total of 5 games and played in 5. The only pitcher, there's 2 pitchers with more starts, or more games played, I should say. There isn't a pitcher, though, with more starts than Garrett Johnson. Liam Ely and Brody Harris have both played in 6 total. But I guess that would actually tie coming into this game tonight at games played. So didn't start tonight, and is actually the first game that he will be playing without the initial start at the mound. So this kind of is the main pitcher of sorts for South Hamilton. So this will be a bit of a switch for West Marshall to be adjusted to. They'll be challenged a little bit more at the plate. A 2-1 count as Garrett Johnson getting things started off. Evan Siegert is up to the plate. This one off the glove, back behind for ball 3, I believe. Yep, 3-1 count. So a 3-1 count on the 1 out. It was Drake Whitaker that flew out into shallow center field. It's a nice sliding pitch there for strike 2. So Garrett Johnson with the pitching change is expected to challenge West Marshall a little bit more here at the plate. Full count pitch. Went a little bit low, reaching for it on strike 3. And a good start here for Garrett Johnson on the mound as he will strike out Evan Siegert. This will bring up Beckham DeSoto. Soto has the RBI on the night. Grounded out on the RBI, but an RBI nonetheless and an infield flyout. So it is 0 for 2 tonight, but does have an RBI to his name. So 2 outs with no one on base. This one off to the right here from my point of view. Good cover from the catcher, but it is go for ball 1. 1-0 count. DeSoto heavy swing that time. Couldn't get all of it. It goes off foul near the West Marshall dugout. Count is 1-1. Takes that next pitch for strike 2 as A good start here for Garrett Johnson, finding the zone pretty good. Starting off, obviously got himself a strikeout. Now challenging arguably the best hitter on the team of Beckham DeSoto. Nice curveball pitch there, got off and foul. I was going to find the zone, so DeSoto had no choice but to swing at that. Keeps his at-bat alive at 1-2. One-two delivery. DeSoto's going to pop this one up and foul. It should be back behind the fence, and it will be for a foul ball. And again, keeps his at-bat alive. But Beckham DeSoto, very heavy batting average. 441 is the highest on the team. 553 batting average. Am I reading this right? Oh, no, I'm not. That's 21 RBIs. I thought I was reading the home run category there for a quick second. Does have 4 home runs to his name. 21 RBIs on the season for DeSoto. So going to have to call the MLB scouts there for a second, but just the 4 home runs for DeSoto. So count is 2-2. Long at bat here for DeSoto. Trying to get things started off. He's fully capable of driving in a solo home run. As I mentioned before, the 4 home runs to his name leads the team in that category. 2-2 pitch. That one's going to go too low, and a good eye there from DeSoto for ball 3. So full count. The new pitcher of Garrett Johnson challenging DeSoto. This one down and goes foul. Down towards the West Marshall dugout. Long at bat here, though, for DeSoto's. Kept his at bat alive with, I believe, up to 3 foul balls now. Delivery again. That one, nice pitch, but just a little bit low. And DeSoto will gladly walk over to first after a long at bat. As DeSoto will be at first. This will bring up Riley Hanford. Hanford, the catcher tonight for West Marshall. He's flew out twice, 0 for 2 tonight. Hunter Pauley waiting on deck potentially. So we'll see what Hanford can get done with his 3rd at-bat tonight. DeSoto. Wouldn't be a surprise if he takes off over to first. Throwback over to first. Tagging up is DeSoto. Not a bad decision there from the pitcher of Garrett Johnson. It's West Marshall. Most likely going to look for the steal here. It's going to challenge the pitcher of Garrett Johnson, see what he can potentially do. Still not to be this time. First pitch goes for ball 1. One-0 count. Throw back over to first again, trying to keep DeSoto honest over on first base. DeSoto does have quite a few stolen bases to his name. He's been successful every time he's attempted at 9. He's attempted 9 successfully, stolen 9 bases. And there he's going to go from first to second, throw to second. It's going to be close. Sliding in, does take a hop, though, and goes out of the glove. If it was an accurate throw right to the glove, that would have been close coming in. I believe he probably still would have slid in there safely, but still, nonetheless, for Beckham DeSoto, makes him 10 for 10 on the season as a whole. So that'll put DeSoto into scoring position. Riley Hanford. Nice curveball pitch that time. That, almost found the zone, but he's going to say no. And just a bit high for ball 2. Really nice pitch, though, from Garrett Johnson. Two-one count. It's going to be a wild pitch, and the steal is going to go over from second to third. DeSoto will go standing up over to third base. So a wild pitch puts DeSoto on third base. Sacrifice not in play, but a base hit would surely score DeSoto over on third. And pitch in the zone. Nicely done that time as Riley Hanford lays off. Hanford just looking to get on base potentially here. Wants to drive this in. Pitch is going to be too high. It's going to be wild. It's going to go for ball 4, but it's going to be a wild pitch. Throw back over home. Will not be in time. Beckham DeSoto will score. And it was ball 4 as Riley Hanford will take his base on the walk. But, of course, the wild pitch does put that ball into play. So DeSoto is more than welcome to make the attempt to come home. And he is successful as a steal and 2 wild pitches are able to score the run for Beckham DeSoto and makes it a 4-0 game here at the bottom of the 4th inning. We will have a pinch runner for Riley Hanford. Looks like that'll be number 16. That'll be Xavier Jewell. Xavier Jewell does have 2 stolen bases to his base running stats, so it doesn't look like he's had too many starts. Doesn't have any runs to his name. Seeing if he can potentially change that here tonight, as he'll get the pinch running nod over on first. So this will be Hunter Pauley. He'll take the first pitch. Say it's going to find that bottom left corner for strike 1. So Hunter Pauley, one of the 2 seniors here on senior night, has walked in both of his at-bats tonight. So his average has not gone up nor down on the evening on 2 walks. On-base percentage has gone up, obviously. Did show bunt, but pitch was a little bit too high, laid off the bunt. So it goes outside for ball 1. Makes it a 1-1 count. Delivery there. Nice swing, but can't make contact for strike 2. Nice pitch from Garrett Johnson. He's done a nice job stepping in. Garrett Johnson has the lone hit tonight for South Hamilton as well and has stepped up here at the mound, taking over on the second at-bat of Evan Siegert. Did start off nicely with the strikeout, but back-to-back walks now. Looks to be in a little bit of trouble, and 2 wild pitches have scored 1 run here in this inning. Steele's going to be successful for the base runner of West Marshall. Remember, that's the pinch runner of Xavier Jewell. He'll slide in over to second successfully. Count is at 2-2. Gives Pauley a little bit more confidence with a runner now in scoring position. That pitch is going to be in the zone for strike 3 for the out. Pauley was pretty sure that that was going to be outside the zone, but umpire called it on that left end. In the zone for strike 3 as Pauley was caught looking. So second strikeout of the night for Garrett Johnson, as that will have the inning go for the 1 run off of back-to-back wild pitches. Beckham DeSoto. No hits in this inning and no infield errors, and just the 1 left on for West Marshall. Top of the 5th coming up. South Hamilton will lead off with Liam Ely, Cash Northrop, and Oliver Hetland. They'll have their guaranteed at-bats. Quick 30-second break. We'll be back after this here on Radio On The Go Sports and KDAO.com.
My family grew up with Central State Bank. From my first savings account to our first mortgage, growing a business, and planning for retirement. They've been with us through it all. And just like family, they call you by name. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you.
In Zeering, McCallsburg, St. Anthony, Clemens, and the surrounding rural areas, Minerva Valley Companies is your local provider for internet service, local and long-distance telephone, and digital video. All available from one local provider. At Minerva Valley, they offer fiber to the home, high-speed internet, telephone service, and digital video TV. You pick the programming package, and Minerva Valley will give you great service. See why Minerva Valley should be your source for entertainment and internet. Log on to minervavalley.com. Minerva Valley Companies, providing voice, video, and data.
Welcome back here to West Marshall. Top of the 5th inning coming up. South Hamilton leading off with, looks like they'll go, I believe, 5. Yeah, 5, 6, and 7 in the batting order. They'll have Liam Ely, Cash Northrop, and Oliver Hetland with their guaranteed at-bats. Liam Healy, the designated hitter tonight. Very tall individual, I will say that. Don't believe they have their heights listed in most of the stats that you'll find, but he's definitely, hopefully, playing basketball for South Hamilton. Very tall, probably around the 6'8" to 6'9" range for the Hawks, as you can see on your screen, obviously. This one's going to be driven into right field, most likely in foul territory, and it will drop, trying to flirt with that right field line, but does go for foul ball. So back and set at the mound, Liam Ely, as I mentioned, is a junior for South Hamilton. Does have 6 RBIs to his name. Liam Ely is going to put this one into play. Going to have to be a quick field from the third baseman, but can't make the scoop up and throw over to first, not to be attempted, as that'll be a reach on error. So an infield error from Wes Marshall is going to have Liam Ely reach over to first. Ely will do the base running duties as well over on first base. This will bring up Cash Northrop, the center fielder, grounded out in his first at-bat. Lays off that first pitch, does find the zone, bottom shelf for strike one. Beckham DeSoto still at the mound, if you're wondering, yes. He's made quick work with some of the at-bats. He's had 8 total strikeouts, I believe, this evening. 0-1 count. Going to show bunt, try to get a piece of it. That's going to be a foul tip. Umpire didn't say so, but I definitely heard the contact for strike 2 either way. Won't matter in the long run as an 0-2 count. Oh, 2 count, bottom shelf, finds it for strike 3. And Beckham DeSoto gets his 9th strikeout of the night. So Cash Northrop strikes out. It'll bring up Oliver Hetland. Just a 1 out after the reach on error of Liam Ely as he's over on first base looking to do more. Still scoreless tonight for South Hamilton. He's had their opportunities at times. He's had runners in scoring position, just haven't been able to drive them in quite yet. More specifically in that second inning. That's when they had their chance. Third and fourth inning were pretty quick with 3 up and 3 down after 5 out of the 6 at-bats were strikeouts. This one went off the bat, back behind home plate for strike 2 on the foul ball. Hetland is a freshman for South Hamilton. He's over at first base tonight, wearing the number 9. Oh, 2 count. That one is just a bit outside. I can see maybe the umpire thought about that for a quick second. That was a close pitch, but just a tad outside for ball 1. This count is 1-2. Hetland steps back into the box. Had to clear ball off of the field, I think. That was in potential dangerous territory. That one's going to be a low pitch, trying to frame that up, but will be too low for ball 2. So 2-2 count, runner on first with 1 down. DeSoto will take his time. He'll deliver a fastball. That'll get driven into right field. Right fielder's under it. The runner's off the back. Throw back over to first. It's in time. Double play is successful for Wes Marshall. Nicely done from the right fielder of Drake Whitaker, getting under it. Throw back over to first in time. Double play successful as Hetland will fly out. And the throwback over to first in time. So double play from Wes Marshall will have this inning go for no runs off of the no hits. The 1 infield error from Wes Marshall. And nobody left on as a double play successful. That'll bring up Wes Marshall as they'll go 6, 7, and 8 in the batting order with Carver Christensen, Blake Hart, and Braxton Toyne. They'll have their guaranteed at-bats. Bottom of the 5th inning coming up after this here on KDAO.com and Radio on the Go Sports.
You've got goals. You need a plan. Don't waste time or money. At Marshalltown Community College, you get the power to choose. Transfer to a 4-year university or step straight into a career in healthcare or trades. Small classes, caring faculty, real-world experience. Marshalltown Community College. Your future starts now.
My family grew up with Central State Bank. From my first savings account to our first mortgage, growing a business, and planning for retirement. They've been with us through it all. And just like family, they call you by name. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you.
Welcome back to West Marshall Baseball tonight here in State Center. It is Carver Christensen leading off here at the bottom of the fifth inning. 4-0 lead for the Trojans. As it is senior night tonight, they're looking to improve their conference record to a winning record as they're sitting at 7-7 in their conference record. 13-10 overall for West Marshall with that conference record. Obviously ultra important coming into the kind of backstretch of the season. So a win here tonight would put them at 8-7, would compete, I believe, for about 4th place in the conference race. Heart of Iowa Conference, of course. Definitely a bit of a heavier conference in terms of talent. There's a lot of solid teams all the way around. Roland Story leads the top of the conference. 12-1 was their record in conference play. Had the likes of Sadell, Grandview Christian, PCM, Nevada. Perry's also involved in there. Greene County and South Hamilton. South Hamilton sitting at the bottom of the conference at 0-14, 0-12 in conference record. This at-bat, quick at-bat for Carver Christensen. He'll take his base on a 4-1 count. But West Marshall currently coming into tonight is 6th place in the Heart of Iowa Conference, but are not far off from getting themselves potentially into 4th place as PCM sitting at 8-5. Obviously the losses would have to pile up a little bit for PCM. Nevada sitting at 6-5. West Marshall at 7-7, so a win here and winning out in their conference would at least give them a chance to jump those two squads potentially into 4th place. Going to be a little bit difficult to catch up to Grandview Christian. They're sitting at 7-3. Those losses obviously would have to be a lot more at a grander scale. Throw back over to first is going to be back and safe. Remember, this is Carver Christensen over at first. So Blake Hart up to bat. First pitch yet to be thrown. Throw back over to first. Trying to catch the runner out. That's going to be a high pitch. Going for ball 1. Good cover from the catcher, preventing it from going wild. Blake Hart walked in his first 2 at-bats. One of his walks was able to score a run as well. This one's going to be popped up into back behind home plate, way into foul territory. That'll go for strike 1. There are some dark clouds starting to roll here a little bit in State Center. We're not expecting any rain tonight. Not that I know of anyway. I think just maybe a little bit of an overcast here. But of course, you never know. Sometimes weather can be a little bit unpredictable. I think we should be fine though. Radio is my job, and I typically look at the weather every day, so I didn't see anything. And currently, as it stands, we're not expecting any rain as well. Just those clouds starting to roll in. Just, opening my radar a little bit, but we seem to be doing just fine. This matchup won't be too much longer here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The lead remains the same. West Marshall may have one more set of at-bats after this inning. We'll see how they finish out here in the 5th. Nice curveball that time for strike 3. And a nice job there from Garrett Johnson with his 3rd strikeout of the night. Remember, he came in on the pitching change in the 4th inning. Garrett Johnson is kind of the heavy pitcher for South Hamilton. Started off the night with Jackson Olmstead. Did an okay job. Quite a few walks, obviously. We're able to score some runs for West Marshall. Throwback over to first is going to be back and safe. The hit department is just still 1 apiece. As West Marshall, even with the 4-0 lead, obviously the big string of walks, specifically in that 3rd inning, we're able to score 2 runs. And a couple of wild pitches, we're able to score another one. So the hitting department offensively hasn't necessarily been up to par tonight for West Marshall. So they do still want to be a little bit better going forward for this rest of the game, trying to see if they can kind of get something going. Maybe one base hit goes down. Some are to follow if they can get things started. Obviously challenged a little bit tougher now with Garrett Johnson at the pitching mound for South Hamilton. Count at 2-0. Braxton Toyne trying to get his first hit of the night. He's been hit by the pitch both times, actually, in his at-bat. That pitch does find the zone for strike one. Two-one count, curveball. That finds that top left corner. Nice pitch again from Garrett Johnson as Toyne lays off for strike two. 2-2 count with one out. Ooh, throw back over to first as thought maybe they were going to catch Carver Christensen falling asleep a little bit over at first, but he's well aware. He stands up and gets back over to first comfortably. He's going to take off now here on the 2-2 count. It's going to go for ball three. They're going to lay off as the catcher had to kind of lean down a little bit. Probably wasn't in a good spot to throw over to the second. It's a smart choice from Holden Moore as he holds off, no pun intended, on a full count. Full count with one out, and is going to be hit by the pitch off the elbow. And that is going to be the third at-bat where Braxton Toyne is going to be hit by the pitch off of the elbow. Was on the full count. And even if he wasn't hit by the pitch, most likely it was going to be outside of the zone for ball four. Either way on the full count. So in the grand scheme of things, maybe not that big of a deal. So puts the runners at first and second. That's a nice curveball pitch there. So it looked like it was going top shelf and dropped immediately in the zone, especially on a bunt shown. So that goes for strike one. 0-1 count, and again, nice curveball pitch. Again on a bunt shown. That's a tough one to read if you're going to be showing bunt on a breaking ball pitch. So a quick 0-2 count as Turner DeRose it. Most likely going to show, nope, not going to show bunt this time on the 0-2 count. That'll go too high for ball one. So DeRose it most likely going to lay off from that bunt attempt now. Runners on first and second, 1-2 count. Johnson will deliver. This one's going to be read nicely, though. That'll get driven through. That'll be a base hit. Runner is going to be kept at third. Rounding third, thought about coming home. But base coach is going to say, stay there. Let's load up the bases. We got one out to work with. And a great base hit from Turner DeRose. Garrett Johnson kept throwing that pitch. And eventually, Turner DeRose able to read it and drive it in between the third baseman and shortstop. And a great base hit loads up the bases. Wes Marshall with a great chance to put up some more runs here and try to put away this victory. Had to duck away from that wild pitch. Runner is going to stay put. That would be the smart choice. Bouncing off the fence on the wild pitch. That wild pitch went right above the head of Drake Whitaker. Had to duck out of the way, but took a bounce off the fence. Was definitely going to be in time, it looked like, for the base runner. As that should be Carver Christensen, I believe, still running at third base. Breaking ball pitch. That finds the left corner. Nice job that time from Garrett Johnson. Getting back on track. Makes it a 1-1 count. Remember, just the one out, sacrifice well in play with the bases loaded. This one is going to get driven into center field. Runners will have to tag up. We'll see if the run is going to get sent home. And no, he was leading off, didn't tag up, as the runners will stay put. Thought maybe the runs were going to potentially tag up at third, but it looked like a little bit too shallow for the base runner to tag up and have the chance to make it on speed alone, and probably the smart decision. So fly ball just a little bit short of coming home territory, as Whitaker will fly out in his fourth at-bat. This will bring up Evan Siegert, one of the two seniors tonight. He struck out twice, does have a base hit, though, the lone base hit. Or, sorry, the second, one of the two base hits, I should say, as the base hit was from Turner DeRosa just a couple of at-bats ago. This one's going to get driven into center field. That's a terrific hit. That's going to back up near the fence. Center fielder is under it near the fence, though, and will get caught as Siegert, a excellent attempt, trying to find the grand slam, but just a bit short. And the center fielder for South Hamilton, that's going to be Cash Northrop. He'll make the grab and keep West Marshall scoreless in this inning, as that'll go for no runs off of the one single of Turner DeRosa. No infield errors, didn't have the wild pitch, ultimately didn't end up scoring a run, and 3 left on as bases were loaded. That's the third time tonight that bases were loaded for West Marshall. They were able to score 2 off of it after 2 walks, but the other 2 times were not able to drive home any runs. Top of the 6th inning coming up. South Hamilton still in this game. It hasn't necessarily been pretty for South Hamilton, but still very much in this game. Just down by 4 runs. Just kind of have to find a hot streak of sorts if they can. With the pitching of Beckham DeSoto being what it is tonight, it's been a little bit difficult for South Hamilton to find a groove. That'll be Sam Koenig, Wyatt Gelder, and Jackson Olmstead. They'll go 8, 9, and 1 in the batting order. It's actually a pretty good spot to go maybe on a deeper run. Better maybe to start off at the bottom of the order if you can get yourself a base hit or a walk potentially. Give yourself the top of the order with base runners to work with. Definitely can work out in your favor pretty well. So we'll see if South Hamilton can try and get some things going. They have 1 base hit to their name. No runs so far. So we'll keep it right here for the top of the 6th inning. Apologies about the scoreboard there for a second. As we are at the top of the 6th, 4-0 lead for West Marshall. First pitch off to the right side, did find the zone for strike 1. Bit of an overcast here in State Center. Not expecting any rain. We are kind of reaching that point where the sun will start to set. It is officially summer now on the calendar. First day of summer was actually yesterday. Yesterday was technically the longest day of the year, and what they mean by that is the longest tenure that the sun is out before the sun starts to set. We've already kind of been in that range for a while. Again, another nice pitch, make it a 1-2 count for strike 2. So sun takes quite a while to set. Starting to set, though, obviously, here in central Iowa. 1-2 counts, swing and a miss for strike 3, and another strikeout for Beckham DeSoto. This is Wyatt Gelder, the left fielder. He struck out in his last at-bat as well. This is his second at-bat of the night. Gelder's going to show bunt quickly. That's going to go off and back behind for a foul ball. Not the bunt he was looking for, as it took the strong bounce off the bat. You don't see that very often, where a bunt attempt goes off back behind the fence for foul ball. 0-1 count. There's a bunt attempt. That's going to get caught from Beckham DeSoto on a diving catch. Nice grab there from DeSoto. The bunt gets popped up a little bit too high. Trying to get that to drop, but not to be. Nice job there from DeSoto catching that for the second out. So the bunt initially caught from Beckham DeSoto. This will bring up Jackson Olmstead. Back to the top of the batting order. Quick 2 up and 2 down. See if potentially South Hamilton can salvage this a little bit. They obviously wanted this to be a little bit better start. They don't need to get it all back here in the 6th inning. They'd love to at least get 1 to build some confidence and obviously to chip away at that lead a little bit to see if they can find something in that 7th inning. Almost kind of not obviously trying to sabotage Olmstead by any means, but a little bit. When you have 2 up and 2 down, you're near the top of the order. Sometimes you want to maybe save your order a little bit and see if you can get off to a better start in that 7th inning. Obviously, game of baseball doesn't necessarily work like that. You can find a run even with 2 outs, but kind of have that in the back of your mind, even if it is 3 up and 3 down, or it's like, all right, we can work with it a little bit better maybe in the 7th inning, have a good portion of our batting order up, and see if we can get things going. We'll see how Olmsted goes with this at bat on a 3-1 count. DeSoto will take his time. 3-1 delivery. That's going to be low into the dirt, and that will go for ball 4. So DeSoto will walk Jackson Olmsted. That is, I think maybe just, is that the first? Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was going over. I think that is actually the first walk tonight for South Hamilton. So that's the only walk that Beckham DeSoto has given up in this game. At least that's what I have it down for, I believe, yeah. So only lone walk tonight. Obviously, DeSoto doesn't want to make that necessarily a habit towards the end of this matchup. Goes for an 0-1 count. Pitch straight down the middle. This is Holden Moore getting his third at-bat of the night. He struck out in both at-bats this evening. Good pitch that time near the right end of the strike zone for an 0-2 count. 0-2 pitch on the way. DeSoto looking to make quick work in this at-bat. Runner's going to go. That's going to be an outside pitch for the ball. That slide into second will be safe. So that will be a 1-2 count. Runner now on second after the steal successful of Jackson Olmsted. One-two count, swing and a miss. Steal ultimately not to result in anything to be, as Beckham DeSoto keeps South Hamilton at bay for his second strikeout in this inning alone. I believe he's up to 10 total strikeouts. We'll do a quick count here, actually. Yep, that is his 10th strikeout on the night for Beckham DeSoto. So no runs off of the no hits, no errors, and one left on after the lone walk from Jackson Olmsted's successful steal, but ultimately not to result in any runs, as the bottom of the sixth coming up. West Marshall's potential last at-bats of the night to see if they can add to this lead before we can have the final chance of South Hamilton in this matchup tonight. We'll take a quick break. Back after this here on Radio On The Go Sports and KDAO.com.
In Zeering, McCallsburg, St. Anthony, Clemens, and the surrounding rural areas, Minerva Valley Companies is your local provider for internet service, local and long-distance telephone, and digital video, all available from one local provider. At Minerva Valley, they offer fiber to the home, high-speed internet, telephone service, and digital video TV. You pick the programming package, and Minerva Valley will give you great service. See why Minerva Valley should be your source for entertainment and internet. Log on to minervavalley.com. Minerva Valley Companies, providing voice, video, and data.
Bottom of the sixth inning coming up. West Marshall looking to potentially add some more runs to their score tonight. Not necessarily needed, but more than welcomed here on senior night. We'll see if we'll have, we should have at least one more senior. Actually, we're guaranteed to have the senior of Hunter Pauley get his potential final at-bat tonight, as Beckham DeSoto will lead things off for West Marshall. Riley Hanford and Hunter Pauley will have their guaranteed at-bats here in the bottom of the sixth. Game's still not quite over. Obviously, South Hamilton hasn't been able to produce any runs tonight, so the 4-0 lead feels comfortable for now, but just for good measure, West Marshall could add a couple of more and have some extra confidence going into the seventh inning. This could be the potential last at-bats of the night for the Trojans. DeSoto lays off the first pitch, does find the zone. Nice breaking ball there from the pitcher of Garrett Johnson for strike one. 0-1 count, got well away, I should say. That's what I was trying to say. Well away from Garrett Johnson that time, as it goes off for ball one. Just kind of came out of the grip a little bit from Johnson on the delivery. Johnson is a left-handed pitcher as well on the mound for the Hawks. It's off and foul ball for strike two on a 1-2 count. DeSoto's had an okay night at the plate. Hasn't recorded a base hit. Does have an RBI to his name, though. Part of that first inning was able to open up the scoring tonight. That's going to get driven into left field. That will go back a ways, but it is caught from the left fielder, and a decent try there from Beckham DeSoto. Not to be, but a solid swing there from DeSoto into left field as it is caught for the first out. Riley Hanford will be up to bat next. A couple of flyouts and a walk in his at-bats tonight. Breaking ball pitch. That one's going to get driven as well into more left field. Jumping catch, and it is dropped. That'll be an error in the outfield. But a nice swing from Riley Hanford gets himself on base, and that's why you get credited with the on-base percentage. So Hanford will reach on the air as that was well in the glove. A little bit of a jump. Seemed like a very catchable ball. I thought he had it initially, but ended up dropping it in left field. As this will bring up Hunter Poli. I believe it's Poli, actually. I believe I've been saying Poli all night. I believe it's Poli. So Hunter Poli. I apologize about that, especially here on senior night. We want to get his name correct. As Hunter Poli, one of the two seniors tonight, alongside Evan Siegert. Evan Siegert most likely won't get another at-bat, as he was the last guy up in the last inning, so it would have to go all the way around for Siegert to see the plate again. Siegert has a base hit to his name, though, so he's done his job. So Hunter Poli, he's walked 2 times. He struck out. We'll see if potentially Hunter Poli can get himself with a base hit here on senior night before the night is all said and done. It's a 3-0 count. He does have 2 walks. I'm not sure if he maybe wants another walk. It might not be necessarily up to him, though. That's not how the game of baseball works. Sometimes you have to take what the pitcher gives you, and that one does find the zone for strike 1 as Poli laid off. Poli's in left field, or has been in left field all night. 3-1 count. He's got the runner on first with 1 out. He's going to take that pitch and smartly will walk on over to first. Maybe wanted to find himself a hit here on senior night, but I think he'll take 3 on bases for 3 walks, 1 hit by the pitch and the other 2 on balls. As Poli will find his way over to first on the walk. It'll put runners at first and second. It'll bring up Carver Christensen. Carver's walked twice as well, and he's flown out. That one's in the zone as Christensen lays off for ball 1, or strike 1, excuse me. Christensen is a heavy hitter for West Marshall. Definitely swings for the fences from time to time. That one's a breaking ball, finds the bottom shelf for strike 2. 0-2 count with 1 out. Ooh, heavy swing that time, reaching a little bit. Christensen can't make contact for strike 3 as Carver will strike out. Since the second out, it'll bring up Blake Hart. And it looks like we are going to have a brief timeout at the mound. Wouldn't maybe anticipate a potential pitching change. I think we are, though. Got to remember, the pitcher of Garrett Johnson is kind of their kind of main pitcher. If they could choose one, it most likely would be Garrett Johnson. More times than not. So, yep, we are going to have a pitching change. Probably just to save Johnson's pitch count as much as they can. Johnson didn't initially start tonight, so that makes you think potentially the pitch count wasn't necessarily where they wanted it to be to have him start in this game this evening. So we are going to have a closing pitcher of number 18 for South Hamilton. Does not appear he's in. Oh, that okay. This is the right fielder of Parker Stuck. So Parker Stuck is going to be at the mound for South Hamilton. Just has 1 out to go, so Stuck isn't necessarily asked to be doing too much here. Just going to close out, get some experience. We'll take a quick look at some of his stats just for good measure. for Parker Stuck. He is a senior for South Hamilton, is one of their more experienced pitchers. 324 pitch count on the year. He started in 3. This will be his 7th game played total on the season. Has a ERA of 4.47, batting average against of 226. So let's say probably the next man up for South Hamilton alongside one of their other heavy pitchers of Liam Ely. As Ely a junior, Johnson a sophomore, and Stuck a senior. Those are kind of their 3 main options per se for South Hamilton pitching-wise. Also up there with them is Jackson Olmstead, starting in 2 games but playing in 4. Brody Harris as well has played in 6 total. Only started in 1 though, officially on the season. So Parker Stuck will just have 1 out to get done to send this into the 7th inning. So this is Blake Hart. 2 walks and 1 strikeout in his at-bats tonight. This will be his 4th chance at the plate. We'll see if he can potentially maybe add a run or 2 to West Marshall's score here. Game is not over. South Hamilton, you know, they haven't had much success offensively tonight, but if they are able to kind of find 1 or 2 hits, you never know what could potentially happen. It just takes 1 or 2 errors. You get guys on base. You load the bases up. Next thing you know, guys are getting sent home, and things can change in a quick and very quickly. And does give a little bit of hope for South Hamilton going into that 4th inning, or that 7th inning, sorry, to put together 4 runs is what I meant, to tie this thing up. It's well in reach for South Hamilton, but West Marshall can kind of put the nail in the coffin here in the 6th inning if they can send home a few runs. Pitch is going to be a little bit low in the dirt for ball 2. So remember, this is Parker Stuck at the mound, closing out tonight for South Hamilton. Stuck delivers. This one will get driven into left field. Solid contact. Looks like the left fielder is under it, though, and is there for the grab for the 3rd out. So just the 1 at-bat for Parker Stuck as Blake Hart flies out to deep left field. Sound contact. West Marshall swinging for those fences, but just quite can't get over that hump past the 325-yard mark in the outfield past the fence. But they've definitely had their fair share of opportunities trying to send home quite a bit of runs, just not to be tonight. So this will move it to the top of the 7th inning. West Marshall just looking to close this out here tonight. South Hamilton will have 1 more chance to try and tie this game up. They will need 4 runs or more potentially, obviously, to extend this lead, or extend this game, I should say, sorry. Extend this game to the bottom of the 7th, where then, of course, West Marshall would have their opportunities, but West Marshall wants to potentially make quick work of this and get everybody home here on senior night. So are we having a pitching change? Nope. We are going to stick with Beckham DeSoto. We'll see if he can pitch a complete game tonight and finish off with his at-bats. He's pitched a really nice night tonight, obviously. He's had 10 total strikeouts, only given up the 1 walk and the 1 hit in that 2nd inning. Other than that, though, it's been very solid pitching tonight from Beckham DeSoto. He's found that strike zone very, very consistently. He's switched it up a few times, but it's been mainly, as probably the kids in the dugout would say, straight heat down the middle. It has not been much change, straight gas right up the middle. And South Hamilton's having a tough time making contact and getting things going. Offensively, Beckham DeSoto, probably not much going to change here in this top of the 7th. Things will stay consistently challenged at the strike zone and see if South Hamilton can respond. As Brody Harris will lead off. Heavy swing, did make contact, goes into foul territory. Caught by a spectator. Nice grab there for the 1st strike. Oh, 1 count. And reaches for that near the top of the zone for strike 2. So this is Brody Harris. As I mentioned, he has an infield fly out and he's grounded out in his first 2 at-bats. Trying to get things started on a good note here for South Hamilton. Oh, and checked at that swing a little bit, kind of reached in. Did make contact, goes off foul for the count to remain at 0-2. It's a tough position to put for South Hamilton, obviously. It's a big test of patience. Discipline, obviously, at the plate if things aren't going to be going their way. There's a nice eye there as that goes off outside the zone. Makes the count 1-2. That's laid off that pitch as that was well outside. 1-2 delivery. This one will get put into play. This will be a ground ball scooped up from the second baseman. Throw over to first. Will be in time for the first out. Nice infield defense from Levi Xavier, the 8th grader over at second base, as he'll make the play. So Brody Harris will ground out. That'll be the first out. Garrett Johnson will be up to bat next. Garrett Johnson filled in for pretty much half of the game's pitching duties ever since the beginning of the 4th inning, I believe. The beginning of the 4th inning. He came in. The last at-bat was finished off by Parker Stuck, but mainly Garrett Johnson with the pitching mound duties for a good portion of this game. Game was initially started by Jackson Olmstead, but I believe just the 1 run given up from Garrett Johnson did come off of his responsibility, granted, off of 2 wild pitches and a couple of walks. But after that, he was able to keep West Marshall at bay and kept them scoreless, but the 4-0 lead proving to be a heavy gap here. In the 7th inning, South Hamilton still just trying to hold on to a little bit of hope. Just the 1 out. Has one of their better players of Garrett Johnson up to bat. He has the lone single tonight. So if anybody's going to get things going for the Hawks, they're going to call upon Garrett Johnson to get it done. Swing and a miss, though, and a good pitch from Beckham DeSoto for DeSoto's 11th strikeout of the night. So this will bring up Liam Ely, the designated hitter. He's reached off an error both times tonight, actually, I believe. As a lot of times you don't see that necessarily, but according to what I've written down, and I trust myself, I guess, reached on an error both times tonight, and it's 2 at-bats, so no base hits technically, but has reached over to first both times. 0-1 count. Heavy swing that time. Can't quite get it for strike 2. Beckham DeSoto looking to finish off the night. Is a 1 strike away from getting West Marshall the win here on senior night. 0-2 delivery. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Beckham DeSoto ends off his nice night at the mound. That'll be his 12th total strikeout, and he ends the evening as West Marshall walks out of here with a 4-0 win here from Schilling Field and gets themselves in the winning record department conference-wise here in the Heart of Iowa Conference. They are now 8-7 conference record, 14-10 overall. South Hamilton will still search for their first win towards the end of the season as they move to 0-15 on the year. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll wrap it all up for you here on Radio On The Go Sports and KDAO.com.
You've got goals. You need a plan. Don't waste time or money. At Marshalltown Community College, you get the power to choose. Transfer to a 4-year university or step straight into a career in healthcare or trades. Small classes, caring faculty, real-world experience. Marshalltown Community College. Your future starts now.
Welcome back here to Schilling Field here in State Center. West Marshall baseball wrapping up tonight is a 4-0 win for West Marshall, as the big kind of storyline, I guess, that you would take away from this is that West Marshall now has a winning record in the Heart of Iowa Conference. They improved to 8-7 on the year with the win tonight in the conference department. Overall record now at 14-10, as they are still behind Nevada, PCM, and Grandview Christian. Those would be the schools that they could potentially jump. It would be more realistic for PCM and Nevada, as Nevada sits at 8-5 in conference record, Nevada at 6-5 in conference record, and PCM at 8-5 in conference record. So West Marshall could potentially put together some wins to end this year and see if they can potentially see PCM or Nevada lose a few games, and they can maybe jump a little bit in that conference department. Obviously, that's a little bit important when it comes to, or not a little bit, it is important going into postseason scheduling and where you get ranked at, and your overall schedule and all that stuff gets put into play. So conference record, ultra important. They'll have a matchup against Ankeny Christian in 2 days' time, coming up on Wednesday. They will be back here, Ames State Center at Schilling Field, as Ankeny Christian will be their next opponent at 7:30. They'll also have a matchup against Carlisle on Friday. They will be on the road at 7 o'clock. And then they have a big tournament coming up over the weekend. They'll be taking on the likes, it looks like they're two opponents. I believe they're going to have two games. They'll have a game against Boone and Coon Rapids Bayard, both on Saturday. It looks like Boone will be at 10 a.m. and Coon Rapids Bayard will be at 2:30. I do not know for sure if there's a potential of them playing a third game if they end up winning both of those games. I don't know if it's just a kind of a gathering of all the schools. I'm not sure if it's tournament style. I don't believe so. I think it'll just be the two games for West Marshall against Boone and Coon Rapids Bayard. And then next week they'll have matchups against Appleton Parkersburg, and Pella Christian will be their final opponent to wrap up the regular season. And then postseason will not be too far off for West Marshall, as they now improve to 8-7 conference-wise and 14-10 overall. Good showing tonight. Really good game from Beckham DeSoto. He was the one that definitely led the defense of West Marshall in the pitching department, able to gain 12 total strikeouts for West Marshall, and proving that his fastball and his kind of straight shooter style at the pitching department a little bit too much for South Hamilton. And remember, again, a big shout out to Harley Whitkoff over in Algona. Your family is greatly thinking about you, and gave me a heads up pregame to give you a shout out, as you are a big West Marshall fan, and I appreciate you guys, the whole DeSoto family and Harley Whitkoff, for tuning in tonight and watching some West Marshall baseball as they get the victory here tonight, here on Senior Day. And Beckham DeSoto, that is his grandfather as well, in a big game from Beckham DeSoto, leading them to victory here tonight. As a big shout out to you for being a West Marshall fan and tuning in here with KDAO Sports and watching our broadcast here this evening, as Asher DeSoto as well, the freshman for West Marshall, as his grandpas. They're all thinking about you and love you, as that will be a West Marshall victory here tonight, here on Senior Day. Again, a big shout out to and a big thank you to our sponsors here this evening, as Central State Bank, Minerva Valley Companies, and Marshalltown Community College. That will wrap it up for us. Make sure to be tuning in the rest of still this short season. We got a couple of weeks, maybe like a week and 2 days, right, of the left of the regular season. Postseason will be right around the corner. We'll have that schedule made sooner than you think. So remember to be tuning in to Radio on the Go Sports on YouTube. You can check out our entire YouTube page. You can check out our entire schedule as well on our website at kdao.com. See all the matchups that we have coming up. We'll have games every single day of the week going forward. Whether it's baseball, softball, will be packed with games up until Friday. So again, big thank you for tuning in, and that'll do it for us here in State Center. I'll be back with you, I believe, on Wednesday. I think I got Grundy Center and Gladbrook-Rhinebeck baseball coming up on that date. So make sure to be tuning in with Radio on the Go Sports and keeping up with all your Central Iowa high school sports here with baseball and softball. That'll do it for me here in Schilling Field. 4-0 victory for West Marshall. I'm saying goodnight here from State Center on Radio on the Go Sports and KDAO.com.
Tonight's game was made possible by Central State Bank, Minerva Valley Companies, Marshalltown Community College. This has been a special sports presentation of KDAO.